everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of Lakeside LifeCast live. Not live for you, live for us here sitting around this table. And I want to introduce our panel again, and for those of you who maybe haven't seen the last ones. First over here we have Sam O, TJ Weary, and the fabulous Miss Cammie Taylor.
Hello.
Welcome to everybody watching at home. We're going to jump right in it today. First thing I just want to talk about is maybe just bring us to a little serious place to start, because I think a lot of people understand this. We're trying to be encouraging to folks, but we're also wrestling with our own sense of fears and our sense of loss, maybe. What have you found that you've taken for granted in all this, Sam, or maybe that's not there, that you've always had readily, but as you look at life now in the post-coronavirus life, what do you think you've taken for granted?
Yeah, I think for me, definitely one of the biggest ones was meeting with people and leading worship. On Sunday I'd lead worship at Lakeside, and then Monday I would lead worship at Belhaven's Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Tuesday, I was a part of the Belhaven Chapel's worship team for credit. And then on Wednesday, once in a while, I'd help out with the youth band, and I think I let it get to a point where I wasn't worshiping, I was just doing music, if that makes any sense. And I just kind of took for granted how beautiful it was that people would come together and praise the Lord, and that we have the privilege of just leading people in worship. And I remember thinking a few months ago, going, man, I can't wait for the summer when I'm not doing this that much. And immediately within 2 weeks of everything being canceled, I picked up my guitar and I was like, I really miss this.
Well, I think if you're leading worship 4 times a day, or 4 times a week, like you say, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that can be emotionally draining to kind of keep that up, you know?
Yeah.
And so I can see where this might be a good thing for you and a good reset for you to be not just a worship leader, but a lead worshiper, and coming back and having that heart that's positioned before the Lord that leads the people that way. Yeah. That's exciting. TJ, what about you? Same question. Has this kind of exposed some things in your life that maybe you've taken for granted?
It's kind of like a good and bad situation for me. There are a lot of things that I love to keep up with. I'm a huge sports guy, so I love all of that. So to lose the NCAA tournament and opening day
hard.
And the NBA. Yeah. I'm a Grizzlies fan, so that was a lot of fun, and it just
Dodgeball's on.
Just have to watch the Ocho.
They brought it back. It's been fantastic.
I know. So to lose all that just at the drop of a hat, that really stunk. Opening day was supposed to be over the weekend. I was like, that's offensive right now. It's personal. But at the same time, I've also been very aware of, with my job and just working and having 2 working parents and having the kids at daycare, how little time that we get with our kids. So now we have them home, and I feel like I'm getting time, I'm getting free time with them that I was not originally supposed to have, because it was all paid for week to week to the daycare center, knowing they're going to be there from 8 to 4 or whatever it was every day. So now they're at home, and I just told myself I'm going to try and take advantage of them being around as much as I can, as well as my wife working from home too. Just that time that we were not supposed to get together.
That's cool.
I'm actually enjoying it as much as I miss all those things, and people are being laid off. I know there's a lot of bad going on, but there's been a silver lining for me at least. And so there's a blessing for me, I know, and it's been good.
Cammie, same question. Are there things that maybe this has revealed that you've taken for granted?
I think community is a big part of it. I kind of thought myself as being more of an introvert. I tend to recharge by myself. But I think that all Americans would probably feel like a lot of their freedom has been taken away from them. You realize how important it is that you can go and do whatever you want to legally. I'm not in jail. Hopefully no one has to face that, because I know that I could not become a felon and be in jail for long term. Couldn't do it. But yeah, freedom, being able to go and do without exposing myself or other people.
Yeah, I can see that. There was a pastor, EPC pastor by the name of Andrew Brunson. Most of our churches heard that name because we've talked about him a lot over the last few years. He was imprisoned in Turkey for being involved in ministry there, and spent a couple of years in prison. And as he talked about it, I saw him speaking, about a year ago, and as he reflected back upon his time in prison, he said, it would have been a lot easier if I would have known how long I was going to be there. Like if someone had said right off the bat, you got to do 2 years in prison, right? Then I could have said, I can do 2 years. But the fact that he thought it was lifetime, that every day his anguish was that much worse, you know? And so for myself, I wish I knew how long it was. If someone could say, hey, listen, give us 6 good weeks, and at the end, all your fears will be back. We just don't know, and it's part of that level of not knowing makes it really hard. And so we're at a time in life where Trump has just passed 30 more days of quarantine, and so we're going to have to figure out some ways to spend our time. So do any of you, I'll open this up to the entire panel, do any of you have any creative ways that you've been spending your time and you would suggest people could do in the next 30 days? We are so bored. It's not. Listen, in the comment section, help us. We don't know how to spend our time. We're worn out.
I suggest everyone go out and work in the yard. I think being in nature kind of resets you a little bit, whether even it's just raking leaves or planting flowers or whatever.
Does generation, what are you, Gen Z?
I don't even know,
Z.
honestly.
You're Gen Z. Did Gen Z people work in the yard?
I don't know. I know.
Is that no?
I know like a few friends who've gone home and they've like helped their mom and dad with gardening stuff. But I mean, I live in an apartment on the 3rd floor.
You're not
Like,
gonna be doing that?
there's no
Okay.
gardening for me.
Okay, sorry, Kim, we may have interrupted you.
Oh, I know. I just maybe plant a victory garden. I don't know.
No, there's so much going on. All right, I've got a really kind of important question here for you. I've noticed that people are coming up with their pandemic name. And the pandemic name is the last food that you ate plus the name of your high school mascot.
Was it food or drink?
It was food.
Okay,
It was
well, I
the
have a
last
drink.
It was the last food that you ate plus the name of your high school mascot. So TJ, if I was to ask you this question, what would your pandemic name be?
Well, last night it was peanut butter cougar, but when I saw it on Twitter, but today it is stir-fry cougar.
Stir-fried
Yeah.
cougar.
And it was pretty solid today, too. I'm not going to lie. I did a pretty good job.
Sam, what was your high school mascot?
Warriors.
The Warriors.
Yeah.
So what was the last thing you ate?
Rice.
Rice. Rice Warriors. Sam, stop.
Sam Rice!
Stop.
Oh man.
Oh, Sam, we love you. You are so much fun. You are so loved. This is a safe place for you. Tammy.
We've had a lot of leftovers, so my last 2 answers are the same. Mine would be, okay, my high school mascot was a sandstorm, and we were called the Sandies, so mine would be Chicken Sandies.
Chicken Sandies.
Chicken Sandies.
Unfortunately, I would be something like Chicken Mascot. Chicken Mustang. Chicken Mustang. Well, chicken, it's
We had the same lunch, so.
Yeah, we ate lunch. All right, in our last Sunday, when we were talking about through our sermon, we talked about this idea of maybe that the bright side of all this was the extra time that we had on our hands. I think you'd alluded to that earlier a second ago with what you said. Tell me, as far as we talk about spending time with the Lord, in this extra time that we found in our lives, what are some ways in which you yourself personally like to spend time with the Lord? Cami, you want to start with on that?
For the last couple of years, it's been pretty hectic and busy because I've been in nursing school, and this online nursing school I'm not going to recommend to anybody. But my time was pretty limited, and I did the daily audio Bible. So when I was getting ready in the morning, I would just hit play, and then it would just read it for me. So I would just basically listen. And then in addition, church, Wednesday night, Sunday. But as far as alone time, I mean, in the car or doing the daily audio Bible would be the way that I was able to schedule that out.
Teaching?
I like sitting outside. Get rid of the phone and just go sit outside. And I feel, I don't know, it's kind of like a white noise factor to it. Like it feels good to be outside, and then I can just really just focus on what I'm reading at that time. I don't have to worry about something going on in the house or the dog barking or anything like that. I can just sit out there and enjoy nature and enjoy the Word at the same time. So that's kind of my go-to.
I know you and I were in a group that was, before all this was reading, taking
Yeah.
letters together.
I missed that. I missed the group.
I did too, man. Can we go back and answer what we took for granted? Put that in there.
Put that one for sure.
I'll say this. I'm like you. You said earlier, that you do a lot of Bible study prep in school, and it becomes, and I think it's possible to have this work you do in the Word of God, this work you do in sermon preparation and Bible study preparation, and it not really be this communing with you and the Lord. I think it can actually come to the point where it is work. And there are days when in doing that kind of work that it's great for my soul. There's other days when I do that work and it's just tedious. When I am really just needing wisdom, needing to spend time with the Father, I have this really neat thing. I can walk out of my office, go over and be in the sanctuary, and I can walk up to the steps, the red carpeted steps of the sanctuary, actually get on my knees there and pray on my knees in the sanctuary all by myself. And I don't know what it is. You talked earlier about this idea of your mind wandering. Something helps my mind not to wander from the Almighty God when I'm in that sanctuary. There's something about in physical position, like hands and knees, like praying. There's just a sense of the Almighty, and there's a position there of prayer. And so that's one of the things that I do. Sam, what about you? You got anything, the way that you spend time alone with the Lord?
Yeah, I used to do a daily reading and prayer before I go to bed. But what that turned into was after a long day, I would just skip it. Yeah. And so with so much time on my hands now, I'm not a morning person, but now I don't have to wake up and have like a time where I need to go somewhere. So I've started doing my devotions as first thing as I wake up, and that's definitely been a big help to me. It's also like mentally, like it almost feels like I'm putting God first. Like that's what you're supposed to do. So
yeah.
So that's something that I do. I wake up in the morning and that's the first thing I do, and it
Sets the tone for your day.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is something to be said about the first thing you do and the first thing you think every morning.
Yeah.
And if it's a thoughts of the Lord, give me grace today, Lord, give me strength today.
And for me, I'm very musically inclined. Like that's a big part of my worship is music. So a lot of times, I will do the daily audio Bible, but like I don't turn on the radio other than like praise songs. And I have like my Spotify or whatever, Pandora or whatever playlist that I'll run through, and it's just something that helps me worship in my car. Like if you see me driving and I'm singing really loudly and making hand gestures or whatever, it's probably I'm singing, especially in the morning. So
she's angry with you because and that hand gesture is incredibly offensive.
I will not be doing offensive hand gestures because I have a Lakeside sticker on the back of my car, so everyone knows where I'll go.
That's why I don't have it on the back of mine. Hey, listen, everybody, we've sat through 3 episodes together. I want to thank you all, tell you how I appreciate your time and your input. Thank you guys for watching back home. Hopefully this blesses your heart, just kind of see some of your church family here and to hear them talk about things of faith. We're all kind of lonely and in this together. Your God is sovereign. He is in control. And there is some good to take from all this. Find it in your family. Find it in the time that you can be alone with the Father. So we're thinking of you. Hope you're blessed. Call the office if we can do anything for you. God love you. Bye-bye.